All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome once again to our weekly immigration live update. I am Kay Wilson, coming to you from Regina, Saskatchewan. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'm an RCIC, so Regulated Canadian Immigration Consultant, and I am the lead consultant with Northern Connections Canada Immigration. And what we do here is we assist those who are looking at living permanently, studying, working, or visiting Canada. So if that is your goal, then you are at the right place. All right. So reach out to us and we'll see how best we can assist you with achieving that goal. That's what we do. All right. So today I'm going to start off with Ontario. So we have some news coming out of Ontario. So Ontario is launching a program to attract entrepreneurs, right? So those of you who are entrepreneurial, who may want to start a business or continue a business in Canada, then this is definitely something to check out. So they're planning to accept 100 immigrants over the next 2 years under an entrepreneur program to allow foreign entrepreneurs to apply for immigration to the province, right? And as you know, there are a lot of people who are looking to migrate to Ontario. Oftentimes, when I have consultations with clients, you'll find that a lot of people either know a friend, so they either have a friend or a family member or somebody who is in Ontario, right? So that is where you'll find too that most immigrants, so who are coming to Canada, most of them will oftentimes look to go to Ontario at first, even if they never settle there permanently, they'll at least stay there for a bit. So Ontario is definitely a great place to start a business. The population is there to support, growth and so on. So they're looking to attract foreign entrepreneurs to apply for immigration, and you can be considered after investing a minimum of 200,000. Now there is, of course, more details to follow on how they will implement this program, but they're looking at doing this over the next 2 years. They did have an entrepreneurial program before. I don't think it was promoted much, and they didn't have a lot of applicants over that time, or a lot of people who were accepted under the program. But I think they're trying to, revive the entrepreneurial program for the province. And the goal here is to attract immigrants to certain regions outside of the Greater Toronto area and to help stimulate the economy in those areas. So they requested from the federal government double their current allocation, and this is coming directly from the province. So they requested double their current allocation for 2022 to support economic growth and to drive jobs and investment in Ontario, right? So the minimum investment that the province has budgeted that they will generate through this particular immigration stream is about 20 million. So that's a lot of money, right? And the immigration minister for Ontario noted that he sees Ontario immigration, as in particular as it relates to Ontario, as one of the key economic drivers in the growth of the province. And that's pretty much general across Canada, and which is why immigration is so important, right, to Canada's economy, because it's a huge contributor to the growth of the economy and the labor force and so on. So how will this program work? We have a little bit of details. We don't have everything, but I imagine it will be similar to other entrepreneurial or investor programs where you'll invest a certain amount of money. In this case, it's 200,000 to start. So you'll either be starting a business from scratch, so starting a new business, or expanding into Canada. So that would be the same as starting a new business in Canada. Or you can buy an existing business. So, you'll see from time to time, people may be selling their business for whatever reason. That would also be included in this case. So through this entrepreneur project, the applicants will be nominated for permanent residence once their business has been operating in Ontario for between 18 to 20 months, right? So you will have to operate your business for that duration of time, so between 18 to 20 months, it's very likely, of course, you'll have to come to Canada in order to operate the business. So we're expecting, like I said, similar to some of the entrepreneurial programs where initially you may be issued a work permit. So you'll get a work permit in order to come and establish your business. So there's usually different phases of the application. So the first phase might be like an expression of interest, where you're expressing your interest in the program and you're showing how you meet certain requirements. So they'll have different categories of requirements and most likely points, because it will be held through an EOI system. So that is an expression of interest system. And then they will select candidates from there, right? And then if you are approved in that initial phase, then you will be issued a work permit in order to operate your business. Between that 18 to 20 months period, there will be likely certain requirements that you'll have to meet and reporting that you'll have to do during that period of time in order for them to nominate you after that period of time, right? So that's usually how those systems work. The aim of this is to help businesses in small and rural communities attract, retain, and keep retain their skilled workers, and making it easier. And this is based on what's coming from the province. They see this as well as a way to make it easier for internationally trained individuals to practice in regulated professions in Ontario. All right. And so, as I mentioned before, the project will seek to prioritize applications for entrepreneurs who are looking to start or grow their businesses outside of the GTA, so outside of the Greater Toronto area, and especially in communities that are hit hard by, COVID-19 and have seen a lot of job losses. So that is the aim of this project. If this is something that interests you, absolutely, you can reach out to us and we can guide you further. We likely have to do a consultation to see whether you would meet the requirements for the program. But there will definitely be more details to follow as well regarding that program. But it's not the first, it's just, it's a little different, right? And you'll find too, generally with most of the investor programs, because you'll have, most provinces will have an investor program. The minimum investment is usually between 150,000 to 200 generally. And it can get higher, but I'd say the minimum that I've seen is about 150,000. All right, so moving on, Alberta PNP, right? So Alberta Provincial Nominee Program, they issued 100 invitations to apply for permanent residence. This draw happened on November 24th, but of course, Alberta tends to do their draws, and then they will provide the details later. So they issued this information about a week ago. They provided details of the draw. Alberta is one of those provinces where they don't provide much details in terms of the breakdown of the draws, right? So the lowest ranking candidate that was invited to apply, and this is from the express entry system, they had a score of 350, and they issued, like I mentioned, 100 notifications. So 350, again, that is not a very high score, right? So Alberta definitely tends to go lower in terms of the numbers. And we issued some details, or we announced Saskatchewan's program about a week ago, and I just wanted to go over some updates that the province provided. So for those of you who have been following us, you'll know that Saskatchewan recently came out with this hard to fill pilot, right? So it's a pilot program that they are doing under the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, and it's aimed at helping employers in Canada, in Saskatchewan, who are having a difficult time finding workers, right? And so the employer will have an opportunity to recruit workers, whether from inside or outside of Canada, through this program. It's a great program because it's allowing employers to get workers, right, to meet their labor needs. And it also helps those immigrants who are looking to come to Canada for work and for permanent residence, it gives you that opportunity to get both, right? So if you are chosen under this program by an employer, you have the opportunity to get not only a work permit, right? Because the work permit will allow you to come and work immediately for the employer, but there's also the opportunity to also get permanent residence. So it's twofold. You'll be nominated, right, through the PNP program, and you will also be applying for a work permit in order to work while that permanent residence application is in process. So I have a few candidates right now, few clients that we're working with under the SINP in similar situations, and I can tell you it's definitely a great opportunity because it gives you a chance to come to Canada, start working even before you get your PR. So Saskatchewan is definitely one of those provinces where you'll find the immigration programs are definitely on the easier side, so to speak. So they will start accepting applications under the pilot as of January 15th. All right. So, and the employers can also submit jobs. So there's this job approval form that they will submit. So they can start submitting those forms effective today, actually. So December 15th. So what you guys need to do right now, if you're interested in this pilot, is start applying to some of these jobs that you'll see Saskatchewan Employers post. And most of these will be posted on saskjobs.ca. And some of the main requirements that they have under this pilot will be that candidates will need to meet requirements such as having at least 1 year work experience in the past 3 years. So the work experience that you have must be related to the job that you're being offered, right? And you must have had that work experience within the last 3 years. Or if the person is already in Saskatchewan, they must have 6 months of full-time, so full-time means 780 hours working in Saskatchewan, right, in the job. So, and there will be other requirements as well to be met, but that is the minimum in terms of work experience. And of course, the employers will have to post the jobs. So the jobs have to be posted on, like I mentioned, this website, which is Sask Jobs, or they oftentimes also use the job bank. All right. So that's with the pilot program. And like I said, it's a very, very good program. And generally the job offer route through Saskatchewan is pretty easy. They usually approve like the application, the initial applications. I have clients who get approved within 2 weeks. And then after that 2-week period, of course, then you'll use the approval to apply for your work permit. And of course, following which you'll be applying for permanent residence. So it's twofold. And I see some people asking for the job site. We can post it after. I'll post the link after. And if you guys want to, we do have a database here because, like I said, I am based in Saskatchewan, so I do work with Saskatchewan Employers. I know there is interest from some employers to get workers. We do maintain a database here as well. What we do recommend, of course, I always say I don't work with anyone without doing a consultation first, because I have to ensure that my team and I can help you. That's the goal, right? To help you to get to Canada. And so we want to help you to be set up for success and to ensure that you're meeting the requirements and that we can definitely assist you through the process. So that would be the way to go. First, usually a consultation, but you can be added to our database. I do recruitment for Saskatchewan Employers. It's not going to be every position, obviously, because employers are very specific about who and what they're looking for. All right. All right, so I'm just going to move on. We did post last week as well. I just want to mention it. It's a virtual employment platform for New Brunswick. And it's a brand new site that they have launched, and it's aimed at, again, for I Saskatchewan and New Brunswick. Oh gosh, you'll hear me talk about these two provinces all the time, and that's because of the programs and the accessibility and the things that the provinces do to attract immigrants, right? They're very aggressive, and it just indicates that they are looking for people. All right, so we talked about talent. So it's talentgnb.ca, and this is the website that is launched. So it's officially the New Brunswick government website that is aimed at connecting employers with workers. In this initial stage of the site, they are focusing on two industries, so healthcare and IT. Right. So if you work in those two sectors, definitely check that website out. And you can also post your profile. So even if you're not, if you don't see anything right away that interests you, or, so you can also post your profile and employers will review it. So definitely give that site, take a look at that site. All right. So the next one I am moving on to is the express entry system. So they had one of the biggest PNP, so not the biggest express entry draw, but the biggest PNP draw happened last week. So December 10th, they had a PNP draw where they selected 1,032 candidates. Of course, this draw is big because the government has a quota, right? Remember, for this year and the next 2 years, they're planning to accept over 400,000 immigrants, right? That's over 400,000 people that they're looking for to come to Canada as permanent residents. So they haven't met that target yet. They're pretty close. And so, of course, you're expecting to see it's talent that so it's GNB. So G as in good, N as in Nancy, B as in boy. So talentgnb.ca. Yeah, so they're trying to meet their target, like I mentioned. And so you're finding that the draws are bigger because they have to get to that 400,000, right? So they had this big PNP draw where the cutoff for this one was 698. So that means that the lowest ranking candidate that was invited for PNP was 98, right? Because with the provincial nomination, you get the extra 600 points. All right, so that was huge, and we're expecting to see more. All right, so that was for express entry, and the draw was program specific in the sense that it was only for PNP candidates. We also posted about a scholarship. So we've seen a few scholarships that are tailored to students from different regions. And when I say students, we're not just talking about high school students. We're talking about, undergrad and graduate, right? So it applies to everyone who might be looking at studying in Canada, even just to study, or studying as a pathway to permanent residence, right? Either way. So we've seen some scholarships for Caribbean students, and they're for different schools. So this one in particular was for Niagara College, and the award was $2,000 toward your tuition, right? So if you are looking at studying in Canada, I definitely want to mention this for 2022, and you are open to studying at this particular college, which is Niagara College in Toronto, reach out to us and we can help you with that application, and then also to apply for the scholarship. So this is a scholarship that we want to make mention of. It's through our partners that we work with the school, and it's an exclusive scholarship. So definitely reach out to us if you're looking at studying in Canada in 2022. And just a quick note, if you are looking at studying in Canada for 2022, you should be applying for schools now, right? So the intakes for 22 that are still open, most likely will still be open, would be May and September. So you definitely, if it's May, you should have applied already. And if it's for September, you should be applying right now. All right. So reach out to us, send an email, info@nccanadaimmigration.com, or send us a message on the platform that you're joining us from. And then finally, I'll touch on British Columbia. So BC actually had a PNP draw yesterday. They had a tech draw. And for those of you who are familiar with BC draws, they have them just about every week for different programs. This one is specific to the tech program. And the tech program basically recognizes 29 different tech occupations that British Columbia is looking at, that they're looking at getting workers in, right? And this is based on the needs of the tech employers in the province. And so how it works is that it's an accelerated program, meaning you get your work permits processed fairly quickly. So it will be a provincial, similar to Saskatchewan, so a provincial nomination. And of course, applying for the work permit to come and start working while the PR application is in process. So they selected 71 applicants, so 71 invitations, and the minimum score for this draw was 80. And you can check out the BC Tech Pilot, look at the 29 occupations, and if you work in any of those occupations, then you'd want to connect with BC employers. Like Amazon is a big one, there's a few, and we also know of a few tech recruiters who recruit under the program. So, all right, guys, so I think that's it. That's all that I had to cover today. I will be joining you guys again, most likely on Friday. So we had an update from IRCC on the 13th, so that's 2 days ago, the 2020 immigration update. So the immigration report that they release, it's usually released in the summertime, but so it was released this month. And so I will be coming on here to share that information with you guys, and we can chat for a bit. Yeah, and we can chat for a bit about that. And so I'll see you guys then on Friday. Join me, turn on post notifications so you can see when we come on. It will be an impromptu live, okay? So I'll just be going over some of the findings in that report and what that means going forward in terms of immigration. And we will look at that then, and I'll share some of my thoughts on that as well. All right, so I'll catch you guys Friday. Take care and see you then.